2 o'clock. Let's get started. Welcome. Thank you for being here. My name is Ashley Harwood. I am the founder of Move Over Extroverts, which is a coaching and training company for introverted real estate agents. I am coming to you today from Boston. I've been there for about 13 years. I grew up in Michigan and have been in Boston ever since, aside from a 2-year stint in Los Angeles during COVID, so that was fun. Thankfully, I'm back on the East Coast now, which is a better place for me. This class is 35 Ways to Avoid Burnout. And I wrote this class several years ago after seeing a lot of my colleagues actually burn out, myself burn out multiple times, and just not wanting us to have to deal with that as much anymore. There's a lot of ways to avoid it altogether, but there's not a lot of training on that. So I wrote this class. I've been teaching it for about 4 years, been an agent for 10 years. The first 6 as a solo agent and the last 4 as a coach and trainer. My day job, I'm the productivity coach at 3 Keller Williams offices around Boston. So I'm interacting with about 400 agents in our 3 offices, and so I still see a lot of what's going on day to day, and it's rough. It's a grind. Would you guys agree? Yes. This is not an easy job. It is not what they show on TV. So if you guys stay till the end of class, I have a gift for you up here at the front. It is a summary of all 35 ways, so you don't have to worry about scribbling all of them down. I made you a cheat sheet. And there's a worksheet on the back to help you really put some of this into action and help you figure out, okay, what of all these things am I going to implement? So my advice as we go through all of these is to take mental notes or physical notes of which few, I say few, maybe 3-ish, that are feasible and sound exciting and enticing that you plan to implement. Because if you leave today and say, okay, I'm going to try to implement 35 things tomorrow, guess what? It's not going to happen. Even 10 is not going to happen. 5 probably isn't going to happen. 1 or 2 or 3 might happen. Fair? Okay, so let's all take a nice deep breath. I know it's the start of the conference, so you might not need a deep breath yet, but come Thursday, you'll need a deep breath after a lot of, conference things. Okay. What are some of the dangers of burnout? Before we get into the list, why is this so important to avoid? So we have this list here. I haven't updated it, but I started reading the Dale Carnegie book called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. Has anyone read that? It's amazing. I'm only into the first section of it, but he's talking about burnout. He's talking about this topic and all of the health ramifications. And this was written, the 40s, maybe? 30s, 40s? It was a while ago. Dale Carnegie, it was called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. I bought it used on Amazon for $4. And I've been reading it on the train back and forth to Boston. So these are not new concepts. I did not invent any of this. This has been a thing, but the physical aspects that he's talking about is just, it's wild. So it just kind of verified all the things that I've been teaching in this class. Fatigue, insomnia, anger, irritability, heart disease, high blood pressure. Not a doctor, okay? Disclaimer, not a doctor. Type 2 diabetes, weakened immune system. So these I did poach from the Mayo Clinic's website because I'm not a doctor, I'm a realtor. But has anyone experienced any of these? I certainly have. Especially the irritability and the anger. It's true, and it's not your fault. That's just how this works, because we're humans, not robots, right? Have you ever felt like you're trying to be forced to be a real estate robot? Because I have. Make your calls, do your lead gen. Okay, well, maybe there's something negative happening in your personal life and you don't feel like making your calls. That's a thing, it's part of life. So some symptoms of burnout: short temper, easily frustrated. These crop up in business and personal. Lack of energy / motivation, difficulty concentrating, hard to leave the house, trouble sleeping, lack of enthusiasm about things you enjoy, cynicism. Some of these also cross over with clinical depression as well. We're not going to get into that. This is just like a different topic, so frame it within the confines of burnout. And that's obviously a very important, serious, real thing as well. But these are some symptoms of just like, hi, come on in. We're talking about symptoms of burnout. I know for me, I could always tell when I was in production as an agent, I could always tell when I was getting to that burnout threshold when I was snippy with my clients. Like they would call and have a very normal, everyday question, and I would be like fuming on the inside. I was always professional with them, but I'd be like, why are they calling me with this? It's such a dumb question. I'd hang up the phone and like complain to my husband or my colleagues or somebody. That's not normal. That is a sign. And eventually, after years of this, I began to recognize these signs within myself. Like, okay, I either need to eat something, or I need a nap, or I need a day off. Has anyone experienced any of that? Yeah. Yes. So what do you do when you recognize those symptoms? Do you take action and take a step back to take care of yourself, or do you just pushing forward because that's what we're taught we should do? Push forward. So what if the only thing you take away from today was making that shift from when you feel those symptoms, instead of pushing forwards, you take a step back? Wouldn't that be in the highest and best service of your clients as well as yourself? Because then you could come back to them after a couple hours of a nap. You could come back to them and be more patient and understanding, and also have a clearer head too, right? You can work through problems so much easier when you're not burnt out. Agreed? Recognizing it is the key. Yes, absolutely. Start noticing these patterns. Start noticing in your life. Even ask your loved ones. Be like, listen, I went to a class and this strange woman was telling us about recognizing burnout symptoms. Can you help me recognize? Like, can you be my mirror? Are you okay? It sounded like you just got electrocuted. Okay. I heard a buzz. Ask them for your help, for their help. And they might say, no, thank you, I'm all set. Or they might be like, yeah, I can help you with that. You're being a little extra annoying right now. You're being a little irritable. Okay, thank you for your feedback. I'm gonna go take a nap. Or do one of my 35 things on my list that I decided to do 2 or 3 of. Okay, let's get into it. Number 1, pre-qualify your clients. How much aggravation could you save yourself with improved pre-qualification systems in place? Anyone ever have to fire a client? That's also on the list further down, but me too. It's not fun, but you feel so much better after. But if you could have avoided that in the first place, even better. So pre-qualifying them, what does that look like? Maybe we don't show houses to people without a pre-approval. Maybe we don't show houses to people without a signed buyer agency agreement. Even more important now, right? Yeah. So, pre-qualifying. Pre-qualify sellers too. Yes, question.
What about like personality types, pre-qualifying clients with like different types of personalities that usually sometimes your client might not with you per se?
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm going to repeat your question because it's very important for everyone to hear. The question was, what about pre-qualifying clients according to personality types and style? 100% yes. 100% yes. Not only will that save you a ton of energy and time and frustration, it's in the best interest of the client to refer them to somebody else who might be a better fit. Take yourself a referral fee and wish them well on their way. Absolutely. How do you decide that? A lot of times it's a gut thing. It's also leaning into the disc profile. I like the disc more than the other ones because it's very, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's simple to identify the person across the table from you, their personality style, pretty quickly once you are well trained in it. So look into some disc training so you can understand the 4 personality styles. I'm a high D and a high C, which means I generally don't like people. Working on that. It's true. But I do love people. I'm also an introvert, so like I have my struggles there. It's an energy suck. So if you can determine that up top in your first meeting with them, sometimes they'll feel it too. And sometimes they might not hire you because it's not the right personality. I know I've lost listings because my energy wasn't high enough. I know that. And I'm okay with it. I just wish I had had the tools to ask the right questions in the appointment and refer it to somebody else and get myself a referral fee. That takes practice. But definitely recommend any sort of disc assessment training that you can find. Even just Googling, there are some good videos on YouTube about that. But yeah, absolutely, referring clients out. Okay, excellent. Set and maintain boundaries with your clients and with people in your personal life. So one example of this with your clients is either straight up telling them these are my work hours, or simply teaching them how to treat you by not responding to their texts at 1 in the morning. Or 11 p.m. or 8 p.m. or whatever your cutoff time is for yourself and your family. They'll get the hint. Three, taking vacations and days off. Yes, we get some head nods in the room for this one. Yes, got to plan it. Vacations are easier to plan. Vacations, that's the easy one, because you're usually booking tickets for something, you're booking a hotel. You're not going to cancel your entire vacation to Europe because a client wants to see a house, hopefully. But days off are harder to protect. I've canceled my days off to take somebody out or do something or not respect my own time. And it's okay to do that if it's going to be worth it. And the kicker is that if you cancel your day off, move it somewhere else. Like replace it with a different day. Don't just skip it all together. For solo agents, how many solo agents in the room? Okay, this one can sound daunting because you're like, well, if I take a day off, who's going to watch the business? Buddy up. Partner up with somebody else in the office. Cover for each other. The clients won't care as long as you set the expectation up top. Tell them in the appointment, here's what's going to happen. There will be times I'm not available, but in those instances, don't worry, I got your back. Susie in my office works with me. She does a great job, and if I'm not available, she will be. And just cover for each other. And you can either do like tradesies 1-for-1, or you can pay each other back and forth. Whatever works for you. That's the easiest way without having to hire somebody. Okay, number 4, meditate. This one, some people have mixed feelings about. I've tried it. I've tried different types. I haven't found one that I really, really like, but I know for a lot of people it's very helpful. So give it a shot. See if it works for you, right? Another one, therapy. Seriously, no, for real. No, for real. Therapy is so important. It's so important. Even if you're like, no, I'm good, everything's great. Still worth trying. What's that? Are you? And how much do you charge per hour? Because I'm assuming you probably do it for free. For real, therapy is not just for crisis moments. It's for like overall wellness. Okay. Doing only the parts that you enjoy. There is a workshop called the Joy Money Matrix, and it's all about the more you're doing activities you enjoy, the more money you'll make. Okay, I can't get too in the weeds with that right now because we don't have time, but the idea is take all the parts of real estate and do the parts that you really enjoy and find somebody else to do the other parts as much as possible. I know it's easier said than done. I know that. But try, even if you can offload one or two things to somebody else who enjoys it, is probably better at it, is probably quicker than you at it. The one I hear all the time with this one is social media. If you're like struggling and it takes 4 hours to do one post, okay, that's not a good use of your time. It's not effective. Get somebody else to do it. Hire a kid, hire a college kid, get an intern. Like, that's a good way to leverage your energy and your brain space and your time. Take care of your physical health. Nutrition, hydration, as I drink coffee, which is a diuretic, exercise, sleep. How many hours are we sleeping a night, you guys? 4. Who's sleeping 4 hours a night? Oh, you guys, you need more sleep. You need more sleep. Wouldn't you be a better agent if you got more sleep? Yes or no? Be a better person, yes. Absolutely. It's okay to prioritize that. Move stuff around, get some help, it's okay. But for real, the physical health side will help with avoiding burnout, which will help you avoid physical health issues. It's all this cycle. It's all connected. Number 8, create a business plan and follow it. So rather than going into the office or sitting down at your desk every morning and being like, what should I do today? You will have a plan. And you'll know what to do every day. That should be the crux of a business plan, by the way. It shouldn't just be, I want to make this amount of money. It should be, what are the daily activities I'm doing to get there? Number 9, say no. Somebody asks you something. If you don't want to do it, you can't do it, you want somebody else to do it, just say no. Can I go see this house in an hour? No.
Yeah, it's easier said than done.
I know. I know, but part of that goes back to setting their expectation at the beginning with your clients. I keep going back to showings because that's like such a time suck and buyers can be kind of demanding about it. So for that one, I always would explain to them in the buyer consult, we need at least 24 hours. And that's not for me. It was kind of for me, but it's not just for me. It's for, they don't need to know that. It's for the sellers, because usually they have to get the house ready, they have to get their kids and their dogs and everything out of the house. Usually it's a requirement anyway. It says in MLS showing instructions 24 hours notice. Not always, but usually. So just set the expectation up front. Number 10. This one's also easier said than done, but keep perspective. Every situation will pass. Everything, like, what is that thing where they say, if it's not going to matter in 5 years, then don't spend more than 5 minutes worrying about it, something like that. Probably butchering it, but it's just, we're a moment in time, and everything will be okay. Does anyone have a good tool for this one?
A lot of Jim Rohn.
Listening to Jim Rohn, yeah, awesome. I like it.
He actually says,
Yeah, exactly. If it's not going to matter in 5 years, it's not that important. It feels like it in the moment. It 100% feels like the world is crashing down.
supposed to be there from like the 80s. That's a lot of color.
So Jim Rohn, there's an H in his last name, right?
Yeah.
Am I thinking of the right guy? R-O-H-N?
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. Motivational speaker. Check him out.
Thinking it was storm. Storm always passes. We're not always in a storm.
Yes. I love that. A storm always passes. We're not always in a storm. I'm repeating things for the recording audio, you guys, just so you know. Yes?
I just remind myself that I already
That's lovely. I already have a...
have a house. It's really not my problem. Not that I don't care.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that, but that's okay.
I don't internalize it because I already have a house.
Right.
And I just want to help them get it.
Right. So you're not, I like the core of that you're not internalizing other people's stresses. Yeah, if we did that, we're done. If we start internalizing everybody else's stuff, we're completely done. So, yeah, remind yourself, you're good. Everything you have, you're good. You're good. You're here, you're healthy. You have a place to live. Okay. Number 11, actively choose a positive attitude. This is another one that's easier said than done. You might have also heard that you can't control your first thought, but you can control your subsequent thoughts, right? So the first thought that comes in your head, if it's super negative, you can choose to stay in that and feed into it, or you can choose to say, nope, I'm shutting this down, and it's going to be hard to do sometimes, but I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to come over here and just change my attitude, because otherwise, if I go down this bunny hole, it's not going to end well. I've only been able to do that through experience and trying this and failing at it over and over and over again and going down that negative bunny hole. And then I'm like, okay, the end of this is not going to be worth it. I got to just take my headspace and go over here. What are some tools for this one? Because this is a hard one. What's that? Pick good music. I like that. Yes. Yes. Start the morning with gratitude. I love it. Absolutely. Yes.
I like to do it for myself. To start the day on a positive.
Oh,
People that I never expected.
yeah.
And they tell me.
That's amazing.
They really turned around.
Yeah. So you're posting flower pictures every morning.
Sometimes it's a point where people know you have a great day.
Yeah.
This is thoughtful Thursday. Or
That's a really nice idea.
I'm thoughtful, so thank you. Yeah.
I like that. Putting some beauty out into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. You're making a difference. We all make way more of a difference than we give ourselves credit for or are aware of. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Okay, have a good cry. You laugh, but doesn't it feel better after you cry? Give yourself permission to cry. It's okay. Even the guys in the room, it's okay. It's therapeutic. You get stuff out of your system. 13, to your point, writing a gratitude list. I think it was Simon Sinek. It might have been Adam Grant. It might have been somebody else. So I apologize. It was one of those guys. He suggested not only writing a gratitude list, but every day you write down 5 things you're grateful for, and you can't repeat anything. What's that?
It was Oprah.
Was it Oprah?
Gratitude journal.
Okay. But the kicker was not repeating anything. Because every day, okay, my family, my cat, my house. But if you can't repeat anything, it forces you to go deep. And it forces you to think of other things that you might not have thought of. So my example with this was when I lived in Los Angeles. I was about a block away from Skid Row in the Arts District. And Then when everything shut down, Skid Row just like expanded all over it. We ended up moving because it got a little scary. But seeing all of that like intense poverty that I'd never seen in the United States before, it was just everywhere. And it was people living in tents, and that helped me like realize all the things I had taken for granted that a lot of us do. For instance, privacy. If you live without a home, you don't have privacy, or hot water for a shower, or electricity, or just like these super, super basic things that I would go through life like such a brat. Like, how come I don't have a Gucci purse yet? Like, so stupid. And then you're like, well, at least I have, you know, a safe place to live with hot water, like winning. So not repeating anything in your gratitude list is a really interesting exercise. Okay, create and follow policies and procedures. This is in your business. This sort of goes along with your business plan, but this is after you have the client. What are your steps? How do you work with a client? What are your policies for your own business? Like how quickly you get back to people, when you do open houses, all of these things. It's creating systems, really, to leverage your brain space. So you don't have to be figuring it out every single time. This will help. Time block and color code your calendar. It's another one I like for your business and your personal life. I recommend having at least 3 colors if you're going to color code. So one for your business, obviously, one for your personal life, like your family, everything you need to do, and one separate color for yourself. So you can, at a glance, look at your schedule and see how much time you're dedicating to yourself. And it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly 33% in each one, because that's not realistic. But if you're looking at next week and you have absolutely nothing on there for yourself, that might be a sign to go in and add some time, like add a day off, or add even a morning or an afternoon off, where you just like chill out and do something you want to do, right? Because it's easy to just give all of ourselves to the business and to other people. How many people have kids? Okay. Good for you guys. I don't know how you do it. I really don't. I don't have kids. I have a cat. He's enough work. But
You need a hobby. You need to block out that time to have a creative expression.
yes.
Whether it's painting, gardening, or whatever the case may be that energizes you.
Yeah, absolutely. You do need a hobby, for sure. Creative outlet. Something for yourself that will, like you put it so perfectly, re-energize you. Does everyone know what time blocking is, by the way? Does anyone not know what time blocking is? Okay, I think we're good on that. Awesome. Okay, 16, just very generically self-care, whatever that means for you. It doesn't have to be bubble baths and massages, although it can be. Those are awesome. But tuning into your needs and giving yourself what you need when you need it. Sometimes you might need to go in your car and shut the door and roll the windows up and scream. Or listen to loud music. Or go and do that thing where you take your shoes off in the woods or in grass before it starts snowing, and you like, what do they call that? Grounding. Yeah, and you just like feel the earth. Hug a tree, yes. Whatever your body needs and your mind needs, without judging it and without putting it off for too long. Because I'm guilty of that. I'm like, oh, I really would feel better if I took a nap. And then I'm like, well, I can't do it today. I can't do it tomorrow. And then a month goes by and I'm like, guess what? Then I burn out. So tuning into your needs is number 1. And then giving yourself the permission to actually take action and take care of yourself. All of this comes back to self-care, really. But I wanted to make it its own slide because it's important to really dive into it a little bit. It's so cliche. I apologize for the cliche. Will you guys agree to not get mad at me for the cliche I'm about to throw at you? Thank you. Okay. You're on the airplane. They tell you to take the little oxygen mask, put it on yourself first before you put it on your cat. Because it's so true. It's so true. And it's so overdone. I know. I apologize. But 17, pay attention to your mental health. I believe there is another breakout session on this topic. I don't know what day, but I think I saw that in the booklet. So check that out. I'll dive deeper into that. I am certainly no expert, but I know how important it is. Okay, these are some alternative things that people like. CBD, coffee, coconut water, adaptogens like the mushroom stuff. I've been trying these, this like cocoa powder stuff that's mixed with certain types of mushrooms, not like funny mushrooms, just like they're supposed to be good for your health. I don't know. It's coffee, but this one is cocoa. So it's not actually coffee. It's like hot, it tastes like hot chocolate. And it helps me sleep better for some reason. I don't know, it's weird. Adaptogen. Yeah, that's the word for it's not a psychedelic. No. It's like, it's something that's good for your system. I don't know all the health reasons behind it, but it's a new thing. So different things you can experiment with that. Yeah, chamomile tea is a good one for sure. I love a good chamomile tea. A little honey in it. Whatever you want that makes you feel good and makes you relax. I have another slide that I really want to include, but it's not appropriate, so I won't. But other things that will help you relax, okay? Just use your imagination. Hire some leverage. Not for that last one I just said, just yeah. Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that. Hiring leverage. Who has leverage right now in their life or in their business? Shout it out. What do you have? What have you leveraged out? You hired your mother to be your daycare provider. Excellent. That's fantastic. Who else?
Personal, just care of all the laundry and cleaning and things like that.
Oh, you have some.
Otherwise,
Okay, so you've leveraged social media, laundry, and cleaning.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that.
Because I ended up doing laundry and cleaning and not taking
Right?
care of it. I'm like, I can't.
Exactly. It's how much is your time worth? If you can take those few hours and go do more business building activities, you can make so much more money than you're paying your house cleaner, I'm sure. That's a good exercise to do, by the way. Calculate how much your time is worth.
I hired my husband to drive me to play.
Awesome! That's fantastic. I got my boyfriend to drive me here 2 years ago, but this time I'm like, nope, you stay at home. I'm going by myself. I want a solo road trip, because introverts, we like our solo time. Okay, 20, fire your clients. If they're not worth your energy, and if they are just like destroying your life and your mental health, fire them. When I say fire, okay, we're not going to be mean about it. We're going to be professional. We're going to leverage our time back and refer them to somebody else in the office who might be a better fit. Sometimes it's just not a personality match, right? Sometimes they're unrealistic. Sometimes they're not motivated. Whatever the reason is, if they're not a good client for you, don't be afraid to get them off the roster. Right? I know that's hard to do, but it's also, it can be really important, because there are some clients that just like suck you absolutely dry, and that doesn't serve anybody. 21, control your schedule. Don't let it control you. This goes back to time blocking and color coding and you being in control. If somebody asks, hey, when can you meet? Well, I'm glad you asked. I can meet Thursday afternoon. Does that work for you? Does anyone use Calendly or a similar thing? Yes, awesome. It's called Calendly. Calendly, like calendar, but at the end, it's Calendly, L-Y. It's a service, there are a bunch of different providers of this, but it's a scheduling service for yourself to schedule appointments. So it's a really great tool because you go in and say, I'm available these times. And then you send your link to a person who you're trying to schedule something with. You can use it for listing appointments and buyer consults. And just say, okay, I'm gonna send you a link to my calendar, grab a time that's convenient for you. And that way you're in control. You already have your days off blocked off. You have your vacations blocked off. And then just tell them, if you don't find something that fits your needs, let me know and we'll figure something out. Yes, in the back.
So Calendly, platforms, and they can just skip off.
That's fair, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna repeat what you said, like Linktree and Dotform, is that the other one that you mentioned? Yeah, so that's a good way to pre-qualify people. Because if they have trouble filling out a simple form, maybe they're not a good fit for you as a client. They might be a good fit for somebody else in the office though, maybe somebody newer who would, wants some experience. Maybe somebody who typically works with older clientele and they don't always use the tech. So I love that, it's a good way to pre-qualify. Okay, 22, naps. I keep mentioning naps. They're so good. It's a good way to avoid burnout. The tricky thing with naps and being a business owner is that it comes with guilt. A lot of guilt. So, again, easier said than done, but start retraining your brain that instead of feeling guilty for taking a nap, you're seeing it as a business tool. Do we like this? Naps as a business tool? It's so important, because what's the alternative? Being tired and irritable and burned out when your clients call you? No, it's being well rested and happy and able to focus and problem solve.
Yes, to like
That works.
on your low time.
Yeah, half-hour break. Experiment with different time frames. Everyone's body is different. Some people can do the power nap thing. Some people need a couple hours. Whatever you need, figure it out, experiment. Yes?
Lunch outside of the desk,
Oh, that's a good idea too, having lunch outside.
and have lunch, like someplace else.
Yeah, definitely. If you're just in that office every day, it can be a drain. Yes?
Are you aware of a country where every day around 3 o'clock until
I think a lot of countries take naps around 3 o'clock. It's a siesta, yeah. Spain, most of Latin America, yeah. That's built into their pretty,
It's closed.
yeah.
Banks are closed until 4 in Spain, banks are closed.
Yeah, the whole world shuts down in those countries. Pretty much most of the developed world, aside from us here in the States, they do the whole work-life balance thing a little bit better. Just in general. Have you guys seen that meme that went around Facebook for a while, and it was like, business owners in Europe, they're like, okay, I'm taking the summer off, see you in September, and we're like, we're having open heart surgery, and we'll still get back to you within a half hour, don't worry. It's extreme, but it's true. All right, take a nap, it's gonna be okay. You work weekends, you can take a weekday off, it's fine. 23, keep an eye on the time here. Spend time with family, friends, pets. That should be in the schedule. It's important for that balance, for that mental health. You gotta block it off though and protect it, because it's not gonna happen on its own. If we let it, this business will completely consume us alive. We gotta guard against that. Prioritizing working with listings over buyers. I think we all know why. Less time, more control. Spending time in nature, we talked about this one already. That's an important one. Set client expectations. Talked about this one as well. Referring business out, we touched on this as well. We are rolling through these, you guys. This is awesome. Turn your phone on airplane mode or do not disturb. This is a great tool, and it's free, and you already have it in your phone.
Actually, how?
How?
Yeah, how?
There's go into settings, and you just toggle the thing.
And especially in this instant gratification society, like people want instant reply, instant gratification, and it's that you potentially lose a client. How do you do that?
Set the expectation at the beginning.
If they want me to respond that fast, and Zillow has set that stuff up, if you don't respond within 7 minutes, you're lost. Well, then you're not my client.
Right,
Immediately you're done.
right.
Just like that.
Agreed. It's part of that pre-qualifying process. Like,
Clients that I lost because they call me 5 times in a row. No, I'm not picking up, don't call me.
yeah.
5 times in a row, like, are you?
Yeah.
You know?
So it's part of, it is tough. It is tough. I'm not saying that it's not tough. It is a process of first setting your boundaries for yourself, for your business, and then communicating that kindly and professionally to the clients at your very first meeting. Yeah,
Created that rat race.
That's going to add
we did.
prioritizing yourself. Sometimes have you like gone out the way for this client, and then it doesn't work out.
Right.
You know what it means? Then you feel extra.
Yeah, that's true. If they're a good client and you've provided enough value for them up top and they trust you, you can set that expectation. Hey, I might not get back to you right away. I do have some other clients, and I want to make sure that I'm getting you the best information, however you want to kind of spin it. This is also where partnering with another agent who you trust is really important, because you're not available 24 hours, and neither is that person. But if you guys cover for each other, then the client will be covered more of the time. And that way, even if it's not you, they're still getting a response. Yeah.
I will say, my phone, I have had it on my voicemail. My office hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Saturday by appointment only, and Sunday is reserved for family and downtime.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of respect that I get from clients far exceeds that, because
Yeah.
the expectation is set, and I've not lost any business because of it.
Yeah, I love that.
Gain some because they know you're prioritizing your
And
family.
then when I do work with them on a Sunday, because it's not to say I won't ever show on a Sunday.
Sure.
There's always an emergency.
But the expectation, and then they're that much more grateful that I took that
Yes.
time, and they're so apologetic. I'm so sorry to bother you, but I said, it's okay, I'll
Right.
answer you or I won't.
Yeah.
So, right.
Absolutely. You can certainly put that on your voicemail to set that expectation. Yeah.
Being up in the Poconos, we actually don't have cell service in certain areas.
Oh, wow. So everyone moved to the Poconos.
That's where our advantage is. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
was showing and I had no cell service.
That's brilliant. Yes.
Like the Scranton area. and
Okay,
there's
well, we're at
times-
Lake Wallen
There's
Fallback.
times that I'm like, I've been like
I'm in
Strasbourg
Wallenbach
or
Lake
something.
State,
I
and
didn't have
no
service.
Yep.
Yep.
But I do think it's important that's a tool in elevating our level of professionalism, right? We always compare ourselves to doctors. I have mixed feelings about that, but I'm going to do it. Doctors aren't available 24 hours a day. You call, you make your appointment, they call you back when they can. Like, we're available more often than that, and we're also providing the highest level of service, but that doesn't always mean being at everyone's beck and call all the time, because that's just not realistic. Yes?
So I learned to treat,
We teach people how to treat us.
and someone said that just recently, there's no emergency.
There's absolutely very few emergencies in real estate.
And also,
Yes.
like we live in a time where, especially the younger generation, wants to
I don't do it, I'll schedule my text.
Mhm.
Anybody ever schedule the text? How to do that? Yeah, I schedule my, but this text, I schedule it, you know, for like, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes later, or at an appropriate time.
Yeah.
So that they don't get used to me coming right back.
Exactly. You're teaching them. You're delaying.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I said exactly. You're teaching them
Yes.
the expectation. You're teaching them how to treat you, and you're delaying your response on purpose. I think that's very smart. You can also cover that in your initial consult with them. That's why that, especially with buyers, it's so important, you guys, to have these buyer consults. It's not just, hi, I found you online. Can you meet me at this house? No.
Yeah,
I can meet you at the office. Here's my calendar link. Pick a time that's good for you. Like, and that way you have time to go over all this stuff with them. You know? Yes.
I have several, I'll call you back if somebody calls.
Yeah.
Automatically send that. I have several of them, you know, saying that client, I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Know that I'm not ignoring them, but I'm actually working.
Right.
They're not the only people I'm working.
I could be watching TV and I'll text them. Because it's my me time, like.
Yeah.
But I don't, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
We're our own clients.
I'm watching my favorite.
All right, we have time for one more comment on this, and then we do have to move on, so I don't keep you here all day. Yes.
I've always felt very fortunate. Around my state,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they know. I've never lost a client because of it.
Right. And you're going to attract the type of client who does respect that. There are some clients who won't. They want that instant gratification, but that's okay. Those aren't your people. Look, just in this room, we have how many people sitting here? There are clients who will be attracted to each of you for different reasons. And they're a good fit. And then if you come across somebody who's not a good fit, guess what? You refer it out. Collect your check. Call it a day. And then you don't have to do anything. It's great. Okay. Set smaller goals. This is probably the opposite of things you're going to hear other places. But I'm a fan of setting small, manageable goals that can be accomplished. Lower your expectations for yourself. Not in a bad way. You're not lowering your potential or anything. But how many times have you been in a class? I've been in this class before where they're like, okay, set your goal for next year. Now double it. And I get the concept behind that. I understand you're trying to double your activities, which does make sense and is a good thing to do. But then what happens if your goal was up here and you only accomplished down here? You're going to feel like an absolute failure versus setting your goal here and maybe you come here and you feel like, okay, I almost hit it, or maybe you hit it, or maybe you even exceed it, and then you're like, I am a rock star, I crushed my goal, right? So I'm a fan of setting two sets of goals. One is like a very realistic number that you're probably going to accomplish, and then a stretch goal to kind of push yourself to the next level. I like that strategy versus just, let's shoot for going from 0 houses to 100 in 1 year. I see this all the time. I work with a lot of newbies, and they're so excited the first couple weeks, and then they see the work they need to put in, and then they're like, oh crap, maybe I can't sell 100 houses my first year. Maybe you can, but that's not common. That's not the most common thing that happens. So let's shoot for that, and let's set up all the systems, set up your lead gen so that you can accomplish that. But don't feel like a failure if you don't. Like, maybe we'll set a more realistic goal also. You guys understand where I'm going with this one? Okay, cool. All right. Find creative outlets and hobbies. Yes, exactly. Hobbies. Something non-real estate related that's just for you. That's a really important factor in being a human and not a robot and avoiding this burnout thing. 31, journal. I have my journal in my bag. I love it. I think it's so helpful. The reason I like it is because it allows you to take everything in your head and put it on paper, and so it's out of your head. And so you can go back to it later. This is a good tool for if something's keeping you up at night. Pull out a piece of paper and just write. And then it's somewhere else. It lives over here. It didn't disappear, but it's out of your head, so maybe you could fall back to sleep. That's my suggestion. And it can be an audio journal too, or a typing one. You can do it on the computer. Or you can do like the voice memo thing. I do that sometimes if I'm walking around. Just like, okay, it's really bothering me. Okay, this is going on. Okay, this person's crazy. I don't know what to do. Just talking in my phone like a crazy person, but it helps, and then I feel better. 32, travel. This one costs money. This one costs time. But it's a good way to avoid that burnout because you're getting into a different environment.
You don't have to go far. You can go to the next city over.
I was just going to say that. You are reading my
Go
mind.
to Indian Falls, which is an hour from us. Waterfall, the hike. It doesn't cost
Yeah. You don't have to go far. Absolutely.
Probably no cell phone service.
Yeah. Go somewhere where there's no cell phone service. Yes. Go into I actually used to do that. I would plan vacations to other countries and be like, I don't have an international plan. I can't help you. But my colleague over here will take care of you during this week. You know, set it up. Even just going away for the night somewhere else. Get in the car, just go. It's going to be fine. Okay, let go of perfectionism. Oh, this one's so hard. But has anyone ever heard that done is better than perfect? It's so true. It's so true. And I see a lot of burnout happen when people try to be perfect. Uh-oh. That's all right. We're almost done with this section. So. Oh, no, it died. Sweet. It's awesome. It's all right. Because I have printouts. Because I came prepared. So, letting go of perfectionism. Oh, how appropriate that happened. Just I swear that wasn't planned. I did not. I wish I did. I think I'm going to do that for every talk that I have. Plan it out. That was hysterical. Okay. So, if I were super concerned with being a perfectionist, I would be like, okay, day's ruined. I'm the worst speaker ever. It happens. We have a backup plan. We're fine. Okay. All right. 34. Massage/stretching. I would make you guys all stand up and stretch, but I'm not going to do that to you because I hate when people do that in classes. So just when you're back in your hotel room, do some stretching. Okay? I can't do a lot in the stress, but like my yoga teacher taught us ocean arms, which is just like my range of motion is not great in the stress, but you get the idea. Back and forth. Oh, it feels so good. That helps. It helps with like getting liquid into your joints, and also just makes you feel better because you have to breathe the way you do it. All right, lastly, reading fiction. Does anyone else love fiction? Yes? It takes your brain out of your business and into another world. It's a good way to de-stress and relax. What I found a couple of years ago is I was reading all the books that we all read, like, okay, all the self-help, leadership, business books, and I would get all riled up and excited, and not in a bad way, but it wasn't relaxing, because then I was just thinking about my business even more. So then I started reading fiction, and I'm like, okay, this is good. This is good for me to turn my brain off and just think about somebody else's problems for a minute.
Well, the other thing too, that doesn't cost that money. Button down and actually go to the library.
I love the library. Yes, the library.
It doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, I agree. I actually just posted about that in my Facebook group, about how much I love the library. Yes, comment.
That goes so hand in hand too with putting your phone on silent or just turn it off. Like at night, it helps me so much the next day if I just turn off my phone. Okay, it's next to me in case I need it.
Mm-hmm.
But turn off and read. I read sci-fi. I'm kind of geek.
It's okay.
Read the sci-fi because it takes me to a place that has absolutely nothing to do with
Yeah.
It's like,
So much better than like checking my email or even playing a game. I associate my phone with the office, the business, even if I'm not checking my email, my phone is so much like the
Could we pass these out, please? It's true.
It's nice to shut it.
Could we pass these out, please? Yeah. Hoopla is an app that I just found. It's through it's connected to your local library. So it's free audiobooks. It's called Hoopla, and there's also Libby. So Libby, Libby, and Hoopla, Hoopla. So we have we have one sheet that is coming around. It's double-sided. The first side is, as I promised, the list of the 35 things. And the second side are some questions. And you can take some time and fill this out now if you'd like, or we can open up the floor for questions. We have a couple more minutes. But if you're not going to do this right now, definitely do it before you leave the convention. Okay? That way it gets done. So just some questions to help you implement what you learned today and help you process any ahas. I know a lot of this was not like anything you probably haven't heard before, but maybe you heard it in a different way. Or maybe you're a little bit different than the last time you heard it. So any questions that you guys want to go over? Yes.
I was in here 2 years ago, and I took your class for insurance,
Oh my gosh, that's so great. Thank you.
and it changed me. I
Really?
just kind of like really got a hold of all these principles and really just prioritized myself over everybody else
Yeah.
and just dropped out. And it's been fun.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you for telling me. Oh, that makes me so happy.
I get on your Facebook while you're in.
Yeah? So.
How do we find you on Facebook?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Move Over Extroverts is my company. Move Over Extroverts, and my name, Ashley Harwood. And I do run a Facebook group called Introverts in Real Estate. So feel free to join that if you'd like.
It's really great.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. We have some fun in that group. Any other questions? Was this helpful? Good. Yes. Sorry, say it a little louder. Vision boards. Oh, yes. Vision boards are extremely helpful. Yeah, those are great for setting goals. That way you have a visual of what goal is. It's fantastic. Yeah, everyone should have a vision board. If you don't, add that to your homework for when you get back home. Anything else? All right. Thank you so much, you guys. This has been great. Enjoy the conference.